Greetings, everyone. How's everybody doing today? I'm great, magnificent, staying busy, speaking the truth, having the right vibrations. This is your health, people. Be sure you're thinking right. Think right, you got to speak to yourself right. Now, we all have these thoughts that come to us that are not right. You got to get rid of them. That's not you. That's the fake you. It's not you. You can't say, well, because you think something is right, don't make it right. The thought could be wrong. But thoughts travel like vibrations. That will be somebody else's thought that you think is yours because you received it. So that's why you need to smudge. If you don't know what smudge means, you need to do some research. That's why you use incense. That's why you burn candles. People don't just burn candles to see the wax burn. There's a purpose in burning candles. There's a purpose in using incense. There's a purpose in cleaning your aura field. Do you know what an aura field is? Some of you may not know what your aura field is. That's the area surrounding your body that is most sensitive to receiving negative thoughts. It's coming from outside of you. You got to protect that. That's why they speak of putting your armor on because your enemy may come from outside of you and you think it's you. Whenever you do something that you know is wrong, you're being invaded. When you know what's going on, you say, oh, okay, I hear you, but I'm not listening to you. And you don't want in the room now, but you know that thought is not yours. This is high science, y'all. This is something they don't want you to. I know you hear that phrase a lot. They don't want you to know. Nobody can stop you from knowing anything. Forget what they don't want. When you do the research, you would know all you need to know. The reason why, excuse me. If you're a first time visitor, my name is Kaiser. This is the SLS. And we teach truth here. We stay in the light. Those who came it before don't need no introduction. They know I just come here to teach. The reason why we don't need the process of divide and conquer does not work because people see the game. You can do something for so long that it becomes useless. With this surge of technology, news being reported, everybody's a newscaster now. If you got a phone, you're a newscaster. You're a reporter. You don't have to rely on mass media. Just think of that word, mass media. It make you think of mass murder, don't it? Hmm. People have resources now they never had before. Resources meaning knowledge. Only way people would attack you in the past was because they knew you had no ways of defending yourself. They saw you as an easy deal. People used to attack older people till they found out older people protect themselves now. Yes. That keeps people from attacking you when you know how to protect yourself. So all the bully can do is just huff and puff and threaten you. But he's not going to mess with you. Look, it's not the might. That something is dead as well. It's not the might and power that cause people to win anymore. It's the right. If your right is greater than a person's might, you're going to win. And you see these in all these wars, these great, big, prosperous countries fought with these poor countries. I say poor in resources, but they're rich. They're rich in their spiritual unity, in their righteousness. They're rich. So they can't be defeated by divide and conquer. So this is a topic I can talk about quite a bit because I've seen it happen real time. For over half a century, I've seen it played out. And I've traveled to many of these countries I'm speaking of. All these pictures are showing is people speaking with different vibrations. Truth has a vibration. Truth has a vibration. Vibration is a frequency like a rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. The higher you go up the scale, the higher the vibration is. That's why it's hard to speak with some people. You're vibrating at different frequencies, so they can understand you and you understand them too well. So there's an imbalance there. You in control, they're out of control. Hey, what's going on in the chat? Anybody there? I don't see you yet. Okay, yeah, we got people there. Hey, Anna, how are you today? Moreno. Ooh, you're from the family of Moors. Moreno means brown in Spanish. referring to brown people who were called Moors. Yeah, you got the family name of Moors. So you're probably a little darker than most Hispanics. I remember a time growing up where all Hispanics, so called, they were much darker than they are now. Now their complexion is the same as the most Europeans. Today, 50 years later, their complexion is the same as most Europeans. I remember when they was darker. Yeah. So something has really changed. And by the way, the name Latino, that's not describing who you really are. The term is Ladino, and that's the name that described the dark-skinned Moors who was forced out of Spain 500 years ago. Their descendants from the Moors, they spoke Spanish because that's all they knew. They were called Ladinos, and they looked like uh, so-called black people. So over time, the racial intermixing causes the phenotype to change. And when the phenotype changes, a lot of things change from Ladino to Latino. But I know by her Latinos, so-called Latino spirit. I know by your spirit, you're not European. You're mixed, but that's not your dominant. Your dominant gene is not European, and I can tell by your spirit, the spirit of you as a people, not individual. I can tell by the spirit of you as a people. You retain a lot of the Moorish culture, what you think is Hispanic, different. No, your country, the country of Spain was occupied or conquered by the Moors. The Moors came from Africa for about 800 or 900 years, from 700, 711. That's where the 711 come from. That's 7th century until about 1492. The Moors ruled Spain, and they influenced a lot of other countries in Europe. So, you see how participation allows me to go in and teach more? That's all I teaching on the name Moreno. Well, I'm not going to extend my time. Thank you, Anna, for allowing me to teach on your name and touch many topics. And there's a lot I can teach when you ask me more questions. Okay? So, with that, thank y'all for listening. But don't believe anything I say. Do your own research. If you don't do your research, this is going to fly by you, and you're going to say, well, that's nice to know. It has no meaning to you. You may not even believe it. But if you do the research and find out, oh, he didn't talk about that, you learn much more. And it's not to prove that what I'm saying is right, but it's to get you in a habit of learning things you never learned before, things that you will not learn in any school. They hide the Moorish history because you want everyone to believe they did all this. They didn't do jack. They got everything from the Moors. And then they took the Moors out of history. They whitewashed everything. Don't believe me? Do your research and find out for yourself. Thank you again.